You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
It's Jena, Bean, and Shanice from Space Cadettes. We are the Space Cadettes. Me and Shanice work at Space Cadettes, and Bean used to, but she's still a buddy of ours. We all love talking about stuff. So I think today's first topic that I kind of want to discuss is so recently Tim Sale passed away, and I don't know if you guys have read anything by him. Yeah. So, Shanice, do you want to go first with sort of my hair look crazy today? Do you want to go first with first we want to give our condolences to all of his friends and families. He will be missed by everybody. He did amazing things. And Shanice, do you want to go first with sort of what you've read that's by him?
Mm-hmm. The first thing I've ever read by him was Spider-Man Blue, which is my favorite Spider-Man story. It's basically Peter, one night a year, he talks to Gwen and basically is like, hey, how are you? I miss you. And it recaps how they got together. And it's my favorite Spider-Man story. It's the first comic that actually made me cry. And a lot of people that are posting, tribute pages yesterday, their favorite pages, and a lot of Spider-Man Blue popped up a lot. So that's one of my favorite books that he's ever worked on. And of course, The Long Halloween.
Yeah.
Is, if you love Batman, if you like Batman, you had to read that series at least once.
Yeah.
Even better around Halloween, or if you watch the Batman and you want to get into more Batman stories. That's the go-to one.
That's in my top 5 favorite Batman stories is Batman: The Long Halloween, and it does feel like his art in that story really helped bring it out. Do you know what I mean? So what about you, Bean? Do you know anything by Tim Sale?
No, I looked up and I've always wanted to read The Long Halloween, but I don't think I've actually read anything from him before.
I would say one story I think you would really enjoy, Bean. So it's a spin-off of sorts from The Long Halloween. It's called Catwoman Win in Rome.
Oh yeah.
Catwoman and Riddler in Rome playing a heist, and they're a team. So of course they're villains. So you see, which way it's going to go. But that's a really fun Catwoman story. And again, it's Tim Sale. His Selena Kyle is one of the definitive Selena Kyles.
Yeah. For definitely, and I'm sure Jay will put pictures down here too, so we can all be like, ah. I actually learned something today about Tim Sale. Did you know that he actually did the artwork for the series Heroes? I didn't know that. It was so cool to learn today, because I'm semi-familiar with some of his stuff that he did for DC, like what you said, the Catwoman, and then he also did the launch, the beginning of it, Superman Confidential series from the early 2000s, yeah. So it's he's I'm pretty sure everybody has seen his art. They just don't know they've seen his art. And he will be very missed by all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What other iconic art style out there can you think of? Because like we've talked about Pichimoko just being like iconic. Tim Sales is like always known. You can always spot an Alex Ross cover. And then like I'm a huge fan of the Scotty Young series, like his type of like art style. What about you guys? What's the sort of art style that you like lean towards?
I mean, one I've been really enjoying recently is Rose Besh, which I've always brought her up. But like right before this, I saw on Twitter her Black Cat cover that she just released, which is just like gorgeous and amazing.
And what about you, Shanice?
Whew. Well, I guess past artists I can think of who all of them unfortunately they've passed this year. Tim Sale, of course, George Perez. Whenever I think, to me, he drew the definitive Wonder Woman and Scarlet Witch. Whenever I think of those characters, of course, I think of like the live action ones now. But whenever I think of the comic book, versions of these characters, I think of George Perez's take. His take on these two characters. Neil Adams, same way with his Batman. So those are the two artists who unfortunately lost this year, who I feel like they had the definitive style, the definitive take on certain characters. Current artists working now, of course, Momoko. Like I look forward to processing books on Tuesdays because of my variants. And Jenny Prison, she's quickly becoming that for me. With Catwoman for me, because I feel like in like 10, 20 years we'll refer to it to her covers, like featuring Catwoman. It's like, okay, this is also my Selena Kyle. Yeah, because they're just beautiful.
Yes. And then I'm trying to remember. There was this one artist who was everywhere for a while, and I adored it. Who was it? Art Germ.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen covers from them lately, but I remember seeing them. It was a lot. What, last year or the year before? Shanice, do you guys remember? Where it felt like every week they had like 2 or 3 covers coming out. It was so cool to see, and a lot of it was Dynamite, wasn't it?
I think with Art Gem, I think it was to the point Dynamite, DC, Marvel. Like I think that's what made it seem like, man, like okay, he did a Batman cover this week. Next week, oh, Fantastic Four. Next week, oh, Vampirella. So it's like, okay, he is booked and busy, I guess, which is good for him.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the art style. So I do have, I guess you could call this as like a hot no or whatever you call it. I am not the biggest fan of Frank Miller's art style. Like he did a Batman story and I enjoyed reading it. The art style kind of like took me out of it almost. And I wish I could remember which one was it. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember the exact name of the Batman series it was that he did. And don't get me wrong, I loved the story. It was a fun story interesting story to read. Just the art kind of like that sort of style just sort of like almost brought me out of it. Do you guys have any art styles that you're just not like the biggest fan of?
I would say I really like Frank Miller, and I think that he's definitely a lot more like cartoony than realistic. And that's what I was just thinking about as we were like discussing it, because I was thinking I don't know the name of the artist, but the new run of Batgirls that just came out, which has that a lot more like cartoony, like exaggerated art style, which I really, really like that. I understand why people like some people. I feel like it's the difference between people being realism and cartoonish, but I really like the more exaggerated styles. That's something I really enjoy.
What about you, Shanice? Is there any ones that you're just not the biggest fan of?
I guess, granted, you don't see it as often as you used to, but I thought there's a period when I was younger where there was like this like faux anime art style that was like really big. Like there are certain series that did it right. Like, granted, this is a cartoon, but was it Totally Spies, where it wasn't an anime, but it was still like a Russian cartoon.
Yeah.
And I see that kind of translated into comics. It just seems weird. It's like it's not translating well. It doesn't work with like characters like Superman or Spider-Man. I think that's the only art style I'm just not too wild about. Which, granted, we don't really see all too often, which might be the best surprise. But it's hopefully it isn't a knock against any artist who does do this, but it's just not my bag.
Because I remember a book coming in, and I think, what was it? Oh gosh, I think it was called. It was either Not All Robots or something like that. And there was one of the covers where she's supposed to have from the knees down, I think it's like horse legs, but like the whole thing, like the whole thing looked like she had broken her entire body and was trying to stand up.
So that was ninjas and robots.
Thank you.
Not all robots.
My bad.
Not all robots has very realistic looking drawings and is one of my favorites that came out last year.
Oh
so
my gosh, I remember now. You're right. I remember now. Sorry. So yeah, that was Ninjas versus Robots. And do you guys remember those covers? They were outrageous.
Yeah, that whole, I don't know the name of that artist either, but they are, I know that it does not bother me nearly as much as it bothers you, the extreme anatomy that happens. I think it's fun.
There was, I remember now. There was a day that me and Shanice and Nicole were working on books, and it was actually a Zenescope cover that came out, and it made it look like on one side she had like no ribs. The way she turned, do you remember what I'm talking about, Shanice?
Yeah, I remember.
I can't remember. Do you remember what book it was?
It was, I want to say, one of the Dynamite books. Because it was one of those things like, bodies don't work like this.
No. Like the face and everything else looks super realistic. And then you get to the torso, right? And it's just like cleavage. And then no ribs on one side because otherwise she wouldn't have been able to turn. And then like an extra rib on the other side. And we're sitting here like,
it's 2022. Let women have rib cages and organs.
They're organs. I don't understand the question. And then there was a Spider-Woman comic that came out a few years back where she's like crawling down, but then her head's like straight all the way back. And I'm like, do women not have spines? Do we not have necks? What is this?
Spider spine.
We don't. We actually don't have spines. Our organs. The secret's out. I'm sorry to everyone watching this.
Oh no, Shanice goes missing. We know why. She gave away all the secrets. I don't mind positions. Like if you're gonna put somebody in a weird position, don't make the rest of them look realistic. Pick one. And then you have moments for covers where, and me and Shanice talked about this, and we were like big mad about a cover that was supposed to come out for it was Red Room, I think, but it was supposed to be a variant cover or an homage cover of Mouse, and me and Shanice lost our minds over it because this was the most offensive cover ever.
Yeah.
And like you've got to go through. So when somebody does like a variant cover, you have somebody who has the idea that's like, okay, let's get this artist to do a variant for this book. So it has to go, the artist has to come up with the idea and sketch it out, send it over to somebody to get approved, sent back to the artist to get it done, and then sent back to somebody to get approved, sent to the like head people that's in charge of that department to get approved, sent to like it has to go through 7 stages of approval. How did it get approved? And this is one we're not going to show. I'm sorry, we're not going to show this cover. How did it get approved?
It's one of those things like that's why it's important to be what's the word? I guess inclusive. Because if someone with my background or with Jenna's background had seen the cover in a planning stage, it's gonna be like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
Especially with everything going on right now. And it's frustrating because it was one of those like shock covers, like it did what it intended to do. Have people talking about it. That's why I'm glad that people are like, hey, so this cover is gross, so we're not gonna post it. But it's like because I don't want to give it like any more attention than it really deserves.
Yeah.
And I know Fantagraphics they pulled it, I think, an
Immediately.
hour or two like after it went online. It's like, okay, we're not gonna do this cover. It was just one of those things like who not one person was like, hey, maybe let's not do like this cover that homages Mouse, which is one of the just horrific periods in history. Let's not do that. It's just frustrating, and that's why I never been. I can rant about it. Yeah, like Jenna said, like Jenna said, we were very, very upset about that cover.
I'm pretty sure we were mad. Like, I didn't know about it at first. And I was like, I'm reading this comic. And she's like, which cover do you want? And I was like, what do you mean? Just, with me, I tell everybody, I'm like, surprise me, whatever cover you want to put in. And then she's like, which cover do you want? And I'm like, she's like, these are the covers. Be prepared. Like, what do you? And she showed it to me, and I'm like, burn everything down. Burn it down. Burn everything down. And like, we were hot and mad for at least a week.
So I guess I know we're talking about like these questionable colors and questionable artists, but if I can segue into the worst things. So sidekicks. Sidekick that okay, I think Jenna has one in mind. Sidekicks where it's just like ew. Just ew. I would like this slide just like ew.
I have a couple, so y'all go first.
I don't know because I don't have one. I'm pretty sure I'll probably like think of some as you guys are going through, but I don't know. Maybe I think that's because I've tended to read more like indie comics and like more like team comics. Like, like it's like a team of like heroes or like a team of like people. I don't know how many sidekicks I've really like known a lot about. I think the only one that like came to mind, but I don't even know if he's a sidekick, is like is Booster Gold the sidekick to the Blue Beetle? Is that like
maybe sometimes I think
because I love him, but like chaotic. I love him. So the only one I'm aware of,
but he's
because he could be plus one.
I love it. They go back and forth on who's his sidekick. Well, who's your like worst sidekick?
Oh, geez. That's the thing. Like the sidekicks who I'm like just ew about, they've actually gotten better in recent years. So like for the longest time I was like, oh, Damian Wayne, and then he's like, oh, he's actually cool again. Okay. Then I was like, oh, Tim Drake. He's like, okay, I actually like Tim Drake now, which I never thought I would say like this point last year. So I guess my original answer would be like at some point it was like half the Robins I didn't care for. And the Robin that I did like was the one that people voted to kill. So I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I'm the baddie in this situation.
No, all the Robins were terrible. Oh. And I mean, okay, I have something to say about Robins. Okay, it is not their fault that they are terrible sidekicks because look at who's training them. But at the same time, the person who picked them and trained them probably wasn't the best idea. They were not given the tools to be better. So they just got worse.
I'll change my answer. Batman is the worst sidekick. He's the true sidekick to Robin. He's the worst one. So Batman is the worst. He's also Superman's sidekick.
Well, Shanice just took out half of my worst sidekicks, literally right there. So I'm gonna go with and everybody knows I'm gonna talk about I Hate Fairyland at some point in every video. So Larry, who is the bug that helped Gertrude, okay, they were together for 30 years in that land, right? Right? Why couldn't he help her once? Or was it just because she wasn't listening? But he helped all those other kids that didn't listen either for years and years. But nah, all he wanted to deal was drinking. Nope. Him and his cigars and other things and lots of alcohol. 30 years. 30 years. 30. So, although he is one of my favorite characters in the series, he's a terrible sidekick. Terrible.
Yeah, I feel like there's two ways to take this question, which is like the worst sidekick as in like not helpful to their hero, and worst sidekick as in annoying to read about. There's like it's actually two categories.
And I think you know our categories we picked.
Yeah.
But the one that I can't stand reading about for some reason is in the original Zenescope Grimm Fairy Tale series. There was a random Asian dude who would show up to help Stella just like figure out her ways of not killing people with the book of all of the fairy tales. But some of them people needed to get got. So he was so annoying because there was this one storyline. I think you guys read it in your book about the 3 little pigs, and then the 3 dudes that get trapped in with the 3 little pigs and ate with the wolf. Ate by the big bad wolf. Yeah. Anywho, those 3 people that got sucked in there were, terrible people who like beat up grannies and pregnant people. So they were terrible. They needed to get their comeuppance. And then he shows up later and he's like, you let them get ate. And she's like, they deserved it. He's like, no, you need to be morally superior. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. So he was super annoying to read. Sorry, I really like enjoyed watching the dudes get ate. And I was really upset when he showed up to tell her she was in the wrong for letting them get ate. Now I'm like heated.
Any nerdy news you guys heard about or excited about? Any new nerdy shows or films you guys watch lately that it's like, oh my god, talk about this?
Have you watched Lamageddon yet?
No.
Come back, Shanice. Come back. I have another question, Shanice. Shanice. Hey. Have you watched Velocipaster yet? I'm going to ask you every week. I'm going to ask every week until this happens. Ask. Because I need somebody else to be like freaking llamas with freaking lasers in their eyes. Alien llamas.
I have not watched it, but there is something I watched that I hope you guys will be like, oh my god, Ashley. So I watched Strange New Worlds, the Star Trek series, and oh my god,
what series? What?
Strange New Worlds.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my gosh, I think it's my favorite out of the new live action Star Trek series. I think it's my favorite one. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to hype it up like to a point where it's like, okay, this better be like the second coming or whatever, but
hype it.
It's so much fun. So the original series, that's my favorite Star Trek. Like that's just point blank period. So this is like just like this beautiful love letter to it, and it's so good. I legit started tearing up during the pilot. I love it so much. And Aurora is great. She's still like, oh.
Why are you trying to make me cry? Is it tears of joy or tears of sadness?
Tears of joy.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
What is it on?
So it's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. It's been a long time with because Star Trek, was it Discovery? I enjoy it, but I had the same issue with it like I do that show, what is it? Titans?
Orville? Oh, okay.
So like it starts like good, but then something happens towards the end, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard, I haven't watched it yet, but
I've heard good things.
I've heard I honestly got kind of all over the place. More positive than negative, but it's like I don't know. But Strange New Worlds, it's great.
Is it the whole season or is it like a couple episodes?
So it's still airing. Like the 7th episode was last night. So if it's like the original series, it's gonna be maybe hopefully 20 plus episodes. Hopefully.
That sounds exciting. Have either of you guys watched the new season of Orville yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I watched some of that show a long time ago and then fell off of it. Not because I didn't like it, but I think I moved at that point and just got out of my groove of watching it. So yeah, I have no idea how many seasons I'm behind.
I think there's only 2 seasons out. I think this is the 3rd season or 4th. I can't remember now. It's either the 3rd or 4th. They took like a 2-year break.
Mm.
And it's on Hulu, and it's only, I think, 1 or 2 episodes are out now of this new season. And Seth MacFarlane, guys.
It's like I've never watched Orville, but I respect the show enough because Seth MacFarlane was like, you know what, I am a huge Star Trek fan, and if I can't work on my own Star Trek show, then I'm going to create mine with blackjack and hookers. I'll just do whatever I want.
Forget the Star Trek show. Just for me, blackjack and hookers. Okay, Bender, calm down. By the way, how dare that man have so much talent? He can sing, he acts, he directs, he produces. He's the executive producer of Cosmos. So, how dare he? And he's super tall. Rude.
I really want to make a joke right now, saying that he also invented Spawn, but I'm learning the difference in people. It's not that I think that it's the same person, it's that I don't remember names well.
If he did that too, that's double the rude.
Yeah.
Because it's we've never seen him in the same room.
Mm.
Just throwing it out there, he just moonlights as one of Image's creators. And then during the daytime, he also writes our created Family Guy and the other shows. And didn't
he do American Dad too?
Yeah.
Rude. And he dates the most beautiful women in Hollywood. Just rude.
On that note, so while we're just thinking about Seth MacFarlane and his accomplishments, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I'm your host, Henry Compa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Gang Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadettes.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner.
And we are back. Talking about Stephen Fryland, talking about amazing variants. Oh my gosh. Our next topic, have you guys seen Thor Love and Thunder's latest trailer?
Yes.
No.
Wait, watch it. Look, glare and bean, kind of. We're not watching a trailer, but the trailer looks insane. I don't know if we should take a quick, not a quick break, but just to look at the trailer really fast.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Maybe I can, while you guys chit chat, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Hold,
Okay.
please.
While we chit chat. But yeah, the trailer, it's, I don't know why I keep looking up like I can see you, but the trailer is fantastic. Do you know about Jane Foster at all?
Just a little bit, but I don't know very much.
So she's gonna play a big part of it as, you know, like the mighty Thor. And yeah, so we get to see her, we get to see Valkyrie, of course, and we get to see Gore, who is the God Killer. What I am hoping, begging, praying for is that the movie has a serious tone, kind of.
Mhm.
Only because like the original storyline is like dark, pretty intense, because you know God Killer and all that.
Okay, I think I got it when you guys are ready.
Oh,
I think. Haha! I have it. Why has everybody got to go with leather jackets these days?
It's cool.
Dad bods and gal. By the way, there's nothing wrong with dad bods. In 6 days. Who's counting? Oh, that dude. See, no longer Batman. Lots of screaming in this video.
Oh. Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
So I'm excited to see it just for the I want to see the flying goats. Maybe that's just me. So now that you've seen it, Bean, what do you think?
It looks awesome. How are you guys feeling about it?
Well, based off of reading recently, cause so the actor who plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth, that's his name? Yes. He said he was super disappointed with how he was in the second one. And then there are rumblings and the rumors that either this one or the next one's his last one.
So there's been 3, right? Because there was the first one, the second one, and then Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he was also in Avengers, both the Avengers movies. So, because I think originally he signed a 6-movie deal, is what the rumblings are. So this may be his last one, or he may be in Guardians, and that might be his last one. Maybe, I don't know. He might sign another contract. We don't know. Go ham and sign a 10-year contract or a 10-movie contract. Who knows? So we're just gonna have to see if they're gonna follow closely with how the comics were, or if they're gonna. Our producer just broke me for a minute.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. I am professional.
Well, it's like I was saying to Bean, I hope that the movie has a serious tone for the most part, with some funny moments, because the storyline that is based on, and the reason the reason for Jane becoming Thor is dark and it is sad, and I'm hoping that we still get to see that in the film, because even Ragnarok, for as funny as the movie was, it had, I think, one of the darkest Marvel endings. Asgard is just gone. They're all on this ship, and then here comes Thanos. So it's
and then Thanos is just dude, this is a Thor that, even though I think half of the Asgardians got brought back, and Valkyrie is now the king of them. This is a Thor that literally remembers watching all his people being slaughtered in front of him. So this is a darker Thor mentally. So it's kind of, he's lost his eye. He got a fake eye from Rocket. So we're just going to have to see, are we going to see any of the Guardians show up? I would love to see Rocket come in and be like, I need your eye back. I really want to see, the Guardians kind of show up for at least a minute in this one.
Was there anything in the trailer, Bean, that you're oh, interesting?
I actually I'm really excited, and I actually when I first saw, because Natalie Portman's been in some really cool movies, but I'm trying to think if I've ever seen her in a big action role, because it's gonna be a very physical
So, and I feel like it feels like she put some muscle on.
Yeah, I still think that she'll do a good job. It's just it's a very different role than what we usually see her in. So that'll be cool.
Speaking of which, it's time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the Week.
It was my pick of the week. I was just, and I'm really glad that I picked something that was comfort for me. And we got to go all the way back and read the Old Guard Volume 1. And so good.
Yes.
I love the series so much because, before I talk about why I love it, how do you guys feel about it? What do you think about it?
I really like the perspective of, because a lot of times when you see people that are immortal, in TV shows or movies, they're looking for somebody to spend immortality with. And I really liked how the main character in this one. She's just like, I'm so sick of this. Just kill me. I'm sick of this. Damn. I don't want to spend immortality with nobody. End it. It's like, okay, hi. How are you? Obviously upset. I see that. I'm sorry. And it's kind of like a little depressing, but at the same time, kind of, refreshing to see that there's at least one immortal out there who feels that way. What about you, Shanice?
I was actually just gonna say what you did. Like, that's something that, like, when I first read it, I'm like, okay, now I don't say mood because I'm not like immortal, but like I understand where she's coming from. So, man, this sucks. So, and something else I liked, they had to keep like a low like a low profile.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's like, hey, so technology is great now. So, they, surely like they're gonna run to someone, they met like 10 years ago. So it's like, wow, you didn't age. It's like,
I have a great moisturizer.
Yeah, amazing, wonderful moisturizer. Maybe blood. I don't know.
So, Bean, tell us why it's your favorite.
Oh, I think I love it just because, like you said, and I feel like there are stories about immortality where it's like, yeah, this is awesome, and then there's stories about immortality where the people are just real bummed out about it and are like very angsty about it, and I like it because like this is one where they're upset about being immortal just because they're just really sick of it. Andy is like one of my absolute favorites. Because she's like she's literally almost 7,000 years old.
Yeah.
And is so sick of it. And I love the like historical stuff that's all woven in, like where they've been through all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And like how it's like, oh, like I come from the peoples that eventually became Russia, like, and I like it because it really uses that though to delve it. It has awesome action.
Yeah.
Which if anyone listening hasn't read it before, it has awesome action. I love the art style that is drawn in, and I just absolutely adore it. And then they really use it as like a way to explore like what is life good for, because definitely you go back and forth where they're just like, I just want to die, I just want to end it, whatever, and they don't even know why they're immortal. It's just random.
Yeah.
But then there's always points in the story where it's like, oh, actually, I do want to stay alive because this is happening and I'm invested in it and I care about these people around me. And like the story, little like story within a story, which is Andy and Achilles like love story. Oh, that's like, I think that might be, it's so sad, but it's so good because she really did go live a regular life for like 80 years.
Yeah.
And then have to walk away from it.
There is two characters that fall in love in the most unusual way. And it is what gets me through the day is their love for each other. So what it is it's two warring nations. And then these two kill each other, but then resurrect and kill each other, and then resurrect and kill each other. And then they're just both like, yo, everybody's dead. What are we doing? They're like, well, I'm killing you. And then they kill each other. And then they resurrect and they kill each other. And then they resurrect. And they're like, should we just, like, what are we doing?
Should we just
I'm telling you. That's what I'm doing. And then somehow that turned into the most beautiful love as anybody. Like, it's not even, it's only a couple pages long, their love story. And they're literally spending eternity together. And then, like, the way that it's portrayed in the movie that they did on Netflix, like, it was so close to the story. My favorite part about the story, though, is they waited to become immortal until they were adults. Like, I don't know what random cosmic thing was deciding who was immortal, but it waited till they was grown. Instead of, like, teenagers or kids. No. They were like, oh, you grown now. Now you're immortal. And it's like, thank you. Because I'm grown. reading about teenagers doing weird 7,000-year-old stuff is like, okay.
Which it's never explained. I don't think I haven't actually gotten to read the follow-up story to the Old Guard, like the newer one they came out with.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was explained in there.
I don't think so.
But it is interesting, like rereading it now, and kind of thinking about it, I was like, oh, like I'm pretty sure they all discover they're immortal in battle.
Yeah.
Kind of got
like
something to do with that.
Yeah. They do. They all discovered that, like, especially like the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
She gets shot while like in war. So it's all of them became immortal, like, I guess, when they die in the field of battle. I don't know. Maybe it's the Valhalla is like, you gonna live.
It is cool. And I do kind of like that they just never explain it. Like, they're just like, we don't know. You know, like it's one of those, like, some stories are better for them not trying to get a complicated answer. Some stories are great with that, but some of them it's great to just be like, meh, magic.
Yeah. Did you have any last words about Old Guard before we hear what your pick of the week is?
Oh man, so Old Guard, like, it's one of those books because I was already like super hyped because Greg Rucka, like, he's amazing. He's the man. But say, I guess, to both of y'all and anyone watching, definitely check out his other books. Last Verse is fun. What is that one where it takes place in the Antarctic? It's like Whiteout, I think. And it's like you had to solve the main character has to solve like this mystery. And
I think oh gosh.
And he did he co-wrote a book with Ed Brubaker called Gotham Central, which is fantastic. And his Batwoman series is just one. So definitely, like, of course, Old Guard, love. That's why I'm so happy that Bean, I got it right. That Bean got us to read it again. Yeah. So I guess my pick of the week. So truth be told, I forgot it was my pick until checking out because I was like, yeah, whose turn? Oh crap, it's mine. Let's see. So I guess my question to y'all, are you guys in the are you guys? Do you guys want to read something sci-fi or fantasy?
My answer to that is always going to be yes. You know that.
Come on, Shanice. You know us. All three of us. Fantasy, sci-fi, horror. All of us. We got it. Oh, by the way, a side note while she's thinking about her pick of the week. Definitely watch the movie for Old Guard on Netflix. It follows the comic really closely. It just it changes one side of a storyline, but it still comes out the same. And Charlize Theron as Andy is my life. Like, she even still has her battle axe with it's just
that's awesome.
Yes, you should definitely watch it. Okay, Shanice.
So I'm going to continue the Greg Rucka theme with this. So I would like for you guys to at least read the first issue for Gotham Central. Do you guys know what the premise of it is?
No.
So Gotham Central, it's a DC book, takes place in Gotham Central. It follows the GCPD, and on top of like dealing with like robbers, serial killers, and all that jazz, they had to deal with people with like ice guns and the Riddler and the Joker. So you get to see like Batman's rogue gallery through the eyes of a random police officer.
So this is how I imagine it goes. Oh, ice guns, bye. Walk away.
In the first issue, you guys will see how horrifying it is. Like, when you see Mr. Freeze, reading like a Batman comic with Mr. Freeze, oh yeah, Batman's gonna beat him up. But think about how horrifying, like, his spoiler for the first issue. First pages, mind you. The main characters, one of the main characters, his partner, has the misfortune of entering a apartment building first, where Mr. Freeze is there, who's like, haha, and just hits him with his ice gun, and it's horrifying because it's like, well, crap. Now I'm losing an arm and hands. It sucks.
You just Mr. Freeze, nah, man, we're good. Let Batman handle it. We will stay here for the regular criminals and the henchmen.
But that's the thing, though, too. Like, they also they solve these cases. They do the work, but Batman kind of gets all the attention. It's like, of course he's, the savior of Gotham, but the police, they help too. And the book came out in the early 2000s, and it's one of those books that's aged well. Like, that's something that I can't really say for a lot of early 2000s comics, but I feel like Gotham Central, it's the more time passes with certain things that's happening now, it's aged extremely well, which sometimes it's sad. But I would love for you guys to at least read the first issue, because now that I'm talking about it, I actually want to reread the series again.
How long of a series is it?
So it went up to, I think, 40-ish issues. There's 4 collected editions of it, and I know DC that they've reprinted, or they're going to reprint an omnibus of it. So it's not like a big 80-issue run, but it tells the story and it's done. I know that there is a rumor going around with the Batman that they are planning on doing a series based off of this comic that takes place in the Batman universe, which would have been so cool.
The trailer dropped for it, and it's terrible.
No, that's Gotham Knights. That's a different one.
That's still not as good. It's still that is not Damian Wayne. We all need to calm down with Gotham Knights. That is not Gotham Knights.
It's read Gotham Central.
Yes.
Gotham Knights will make you enraged.
Okay, Gotham Knights the comic was fun to read. Gotham Knights the TV show, I don't know what they're doing with that, but that is literally, I could do a takeover episode about that, so we're not going to. Because, okay, they released a statement that they drew off of Gotham Central, Gotham Knights, and then some stories of Damian to make this. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I was just listening to a true crime where actually they were watching Gotham Knights when the person got murdered. So, I mean, it's a slippery slope.
So we're all just gonna watch we're gonna read Gotham Central. I'm upset about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not upset about Gotham Central. I'm excited about that. I'm upset about Gotham Knights. Okay. I was gonna say, well, geez, I just recommended the book already. It's like I didn't care for it, Shanice. You didn't read it yet. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Did you guys see the trailer for Gotham Knights?
No.
So it sets it up as this weird, 18, 19-year-old out there, partying in the club with his friends, buying shots and drinks for everybody, right? And he's like, well, my dad owns it. And if you're like, shut up. And then all of a sudden the news breaks that, Bruce Wayne died. And he's like, my dad is dead? And then you're just like, wait a minute. Are you Damian? No, his name is not Damian.
What's his name?
Random name. Wayne, and he's like, I didn't even know that my dad was the Batman. It's just, and now they're saying that they're like, oh, you killed your dad, and he was like, I was at the club. This is Gotham. They're gonna say what they want, and he's like, okay, I need to team up with all these other teenage dudes that are doing the weird superhero thing, and I need to find vengeance for my fascia. And you're just like, this will be no. Misha Collins does play Harvey Dent though, so I'm gonna watch it.
I can't see that. I can't imagine that.
No hate on Misha Collins. It just looks like this was not well written. We're gonna have to see. I'm going to give it the standard 3 to 5 episodes before I pass judgment on it. But my pre-zibida is that I've already thrown all the things off my desk. I can't throw anything else. Is that this will be heartbreaking, especially with how Gotham just ended, and it was so good. So
Gotham was so fun. Like, we really did not deserve that show. It should not have been as fun and campy as it was, but I love it.
It was not the show that we deserved. We didn't deserve the show. It was the show that we got. Whatever. I don't know. Somebody save me from myself. I'm so upset right now. Like, like, seriously, I am going to send that trailer to you guys later, and you're probably going to message me and be like, Jenna, why would you do this to us? And I'll be like, you know what? Me too. Because this is, I don't know who came up with this idea. I went and read the Wikipedia on it and where they're drawing their inspirations from. I've only read one of. So maybe when I go and go and read Gotham Central, I don't know. Yeah, they canceled Black Lightning and Legends of Tomorrow for this show. I loved Black Lightning. It was one of my favorite DC shows on TV.
So Gotham, because I think that's the show the person got murdered to in the true crime podcast I was listening to. But that one, I haven't ever watched that one. That one is good though and worth watching.
Gotham, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Gotham is so good.
So with Gotham, if you do decide to watch it, I just go into it expecting a very, very, very camp show.
Yeah.
Enjoy it because it's so fun.
Expect a different actress to play Poison Ivy every season. And you'll understand why. You'll understand why when you watch it. Okay. You will understand. Kind of. Because even I still question, I mean, right? Like they had to do that because Zsasz and Riddler and the Penguin just, I mean, where else are you going to see Victor Zsasz?
Video games.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hashtag bring back Black Lightning.
So that's definitely going to go on my Gotham's definitely going to go on my watch list. I will report back when I get that. But I think that's all we have time for today. This has been the Space Cadettes. I'm Bean. I've been joined by Jena and Shanice. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.